Start out by just telling me a little bit about yourself, your family and your background and stuff like that.
Sure. My name is Luke Deardorff. I am a commercial loan officer at First National Bank. Been at First National for roughly 10 years now. And regarding my family, my wife, Amber, and I have been married for 10 years as well. She works at Mary Greeley Hospital. And we have 3 beautiful children, ages 6, 3, and 1. Our 6-year-old is in first grade at Fellows, and the other 2 are anxious to follow.
So, have you ever thought about running for an office before, or why did you decide to run for the school board?
Sure. I've actually thought about running for the school board for a long time. Originally, I wanted to get into it by being like on a subcommittee, like on a finance subcommittee. But when this opportunity came up with some of the things facing the board, I thought it was a good opportunity to try to just jump both feet in. Kind of some of my background, my grandfather, he was in education for a long time, and he was kind of an idol for me, and I wanted to make sure that some of the things he did with education I wanted to pass on as well, and just admired what he did and hoped to fulfill what he did as well.
What impact, if any, does your area of residence in the community have on your stances?
I think fairly minimal. I guess when I talk to people out in the community, I always tell them look at the person, not the address of where they reside. Address can give you some picture on where they live, but really it's more about who that person is and what's their vision for the district. I know some has been said about 3 of us living roughly in the same area up in Somerset. And again, I think you have to look at each candidate and see what he or she brings to the table. People focused on Roosevelt or other areas of town, and it's unfortunate that it's been that way, because it really should be, okay, what do people want to do long term for this district and help the district move forward?
Do you have family or close friends employed by the district?
I have my father-in-law and my wife's stepfather is a 6th grade teacher at the middle school. Besides that, I of course have a number of friends in the district. Growing up in Ames, you develop relationships with people through all those experiences, and so I do have quite a few friends in the district as well.
Do you think that will affect your performance as a board member at all?
I don't think so. I'm fairly objective in my approach. I like to think of myself as approaching each issue from an objective standpoint, but thinking very sympathetic and understanding of people's situations. So I don't think it'd have an impact on my decisions.
Are you happy with the district's student achievement record over the past few years?
I think they've made a lot of strides in that area. I guess I don't know all the specific details of where they've been to where they are at now, but talking with the administration, understanding where they're trying to lead the district, I think it's very, very positive. Professional learning communities, I think, are instrumental from what Dr. Taylor's trying to do with them, that I think will help the district from an achievement standpoint. The No Child Left Behind, of course, is an issue that all districts are facing, and something will have to come of that from a legislative standpoint to deal with that. But while everyone hopes to do better, I think administration is moving the district forward in a positive manner.
The number of children in the district that come from low-income households has increased significantly over the last several years. What educational philosophies or programs do you think the district should use to address those challenges?
I think you always have to look at programming from an approach of, okay, how do we best address those needs? I'm a firm believer that education happens, of course, through the school, but also at home. Where I think connecting to parents can be a good step in trying to help that process. So, I don't know all the specifics of what the programs are that are offered through the district, but trying to help facilitate learning in all environments would be something I would look at.
What do you think would be the ideal relationship between the superintendent and the board, and who do you think should be the spokesperson on policy issues?
My vision of the board, I've been on various boards and nonprofits in the past, and I've always been a very firm believer that boards are to set general direction of whatever group you're with. So you need to think long term, what's in the best interest of everyone involved, and pretty much set that vision. And then administration should be there to fulfill that vision. Based upon the current number of board meetings that have happened in the past year, I mean, I think they're on track for 80 plus board meetings. People I've talked to in education think that you should have an effective board that can meet 40 to 45 times per year. So that tells me a little bit that there might be a little micromanaging going on at the board currently. And like I said, I think we have a great administration in place, and they can really lead the district forward. So I would prefer to see a board take more of a high-level approach and really understand where do we want to lead the district, and then have a partnership with administration to get that done.
In the past, the district and administrators have relied heavily on legal and procedural advice from the Iowa Association of School Boards. That group has come under fire recently for a number of things. What do you think should be the future relationship between the district and the IASB?
I think that the Iowa board can be very instrumental in providing guidance for board members. As far as relying on them for procedural and legal issues, I guess I'm not familiar with those cases, but I think it is good to be a part of that association, because it can give, especially board members new to that position, a chance of some experiences that they wouldn't necessarily get just through reading research or going through different articles. So I guess I'd be supportive of them, but I don't know all the specifics of where they've been in the past.
So what do you think is the best plan for Ames elementary schools?
I think the 5-school approach is best. I guess from a fiscal standpoint, both administration and then also the consultants, the bright consultant structures, estimates it's going to cost $400,000 to $450,000 per year to run a 6th school. And I know that other people, of course, on the board right now feel that's quite a bit less. The hard thing is what is the right number. And in my industry, we look at historical information to project future types of income and expenses. So if you look historically, Dr. Taylor has said that it's going to cost $400,000 to run a 6th school, which would come right out of the general budget. So I'm not willing, if I was elected to this position, to sacrifice programming, thinking that maybe it only costs $25,000 to open up a 6th school. So that's why I've been a proponent of 5, primarily from a programming standpoint, not wanting to sacrifice the education for the kids.
What role does Roosevelt play in all this for you? Is that a sticking point in your opposition to the plan?
It's not. It really comes down to the numbers. Communities, in my opinion, exist. Neighborhood schools exist to provide unity for that community. And while it's unfortunate that people have relied on Roosevelt as the catalyst for all this discussion, it really comes down to, can we afford 5 or 6? And it's not Roosevelt, it's whatever configuration you want to lay out there. And structure, I think, put together some documentation on what the best configuration would be, and based on, I think, their recommendation, Roosevelt was not one of them. So that's my only point, of saying, well, if we should maybe rely on that, plus administration's best guidance on where we should put those schools.
So what about the high school's future?
I think we definitely need to put money into the high school. The pool is in definite need of repair, and it needs to be, the school needs to be addressed long term. Based upon discussions with the administration, they said the elementaries are at the crisis right now and need to be updated. So I think you start with the elementaries and then eventually have a facilities plan that can address the high school as well.
So why should people vote for you?
I think I bring a lot of energy to the position. I'm really excited about being on the board. I have a vested interest with my young family. I view being a board member as someone that, again, thinks long-term, vision type of approach. I really want to focus the board on not micromanaging administration. I think we have wonderful administrators, wonderful teachers and educators, and it's unfortunate that this whole facilities thing has kind of overshadowed some of our success, because we still have great exam scores from our students, and it's just too bad we can't embrace that. So I really hope that we can come to some kind of resolution on the facilities issue, and then have people, I guess, reconcile and want to move forward in a very positive way.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, I'm just very excited about this opportunity, so thank you for your time.
Thank you.